Welcome to our 5-day challenge. I just want to make sure you can hear me. Give me a one in the chat if you are able to hear me. And what I would love for everyone to do is tell us what city and state you're checking in from. That's one of the things that we do with all of our live streams. And we hear feedback from a ton of people, usually in the high level community, saying that, hey, I connected with some folks in my local area at a lunch meetup or a dinner meetup or one of those pop-up groups. And we've seen that happen in the recent days since we started doing a ton of these lives. So welcome in. If you are in the Zoom room itself, awesome. And now if you are watching in one of our channels, our social channels, and the streaming behind it, awesome as well. If you pay attention to the Zoom room itself, we have the comments inside the Zoom room intentionally turned off. And what I will do here is pull the link for the Facebook page streaming. And what I would love for you to do is interact with us there in our external Facebook page streaming. Let me go ahead and grab that link. Oh, looks like Jordan grabbed that link for us already. Thank you, Jordan. Jordan is one of our community managers and one of the rock stars behind the scenes of all these live streams. So thank you, Jordan. So if you click on that link, it'll take you directly to the external page, our Facebook page. And I want you to put comments there. So tell us what city you're checking in from, what state. And if you don't want to do that, give us a yes in the chat that you can hear my audio, see the video, and all of that pretty clearly. And without any further ado, what I will do is get started here. Let's see, I'll wait for a few more people to trickle in. I see our lobby is full as well. And if you are new to the 5-day challenge, let me go ahead and click record here. If you are new to the 5-day challenge, the idea here is to help you navigate through the sales and marketing waters out there as you get started with your own business. And one of the things that we do with the 5-day challenge is teach you how to lead with one specific feature. And the one that we pay attention the most to is missed call text back. And I'm excited to kind of share some of the strategies around it. Not to mention, we are in the process of launching new Trojan horses, new features that are relevant to the 5-day challenge as well. So you can lead with different types of features, not just missed call text back. But I'm excited to share some of the strategies and what's working for a lot of people. And this is going to help you get started with high level in general. Okay. So if you are new to high level, give me a one in the chat. Let me go ahead and pull up my phone here. Usually it's a little easier to see comments on mobile. I don't know why. Let me go ahead and pull this up here. Perfect. Do, 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 do. Let me see. What up on desktop? It's actually not as fast as I thought. Bear with me here. All right, awesome. Okay, we've got some. Yeah, let me read some of these comments. Let's see where everybody's from. That's always a good way to get started. We see some Canadians in the house, some folks overseas. Let's see, someone from Tennessee. Go ahead and refresh. Sorry about that. Okay, awesome. So looks like you are able to hear me pretty clearly. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna share my screen here and not waste any extra time because we have a ton of things to go over, a ton of things to cover. So let's get started. Give me a one in the chat if you are ready for me to just go ahead and get started. It's like, Paulson, I don't want any more intro. I want to just get started. If you're one of those, I totally get it. I'm the same way when I'm listening to live sessions. Okay, there's plenty of ones. Okay. All right. All right. So, welcome to the 5-day challenge, y'all. First of all, if you are not familiar with HighLevel, we are a all-in-one software platform, all-in-one CRM, or in other words, a all-in-one operating system, as some marketers call it. where you can build your own CRM or you can build your own white label solutions, go out there to the market. And we have essentially built this entire platform with a MSP model in mind, which where you as the digital citizen, whether you're an influencer, marketer, coach, consultant, whoever you are in the world of digital marketing, you will be able to take our features and create your own solutions and go to the market. So why did we decide to do a 5-day challenge? And what's the point of the 5-day challenge? And exactly what will you get? What will you get out of it? Quick background, High Level is built by agency owners themselves. If you don't know, some of the founders are agency owners. So we have the lens of a service provider. So as you build out your high level platform and things like that, whether it's through a white label or an affiliate, it doesn't matter. Just remember that whatever you feel like the system is missing, we will probably go build it out. And that's our mentality because we are a product-led company. Product is what we take pride of, a lot of pride of on engineering the right things, making sure you have the right things. So in order to make all that work, you can always jump into a success call, which we have dedicated live agents that'll jump on a quick call with you, a Zoom call actually, and help you set things up. So for that, you can go to speakwith.us/success and you can talk to a real person and go shoulder to shoulder and even do a kickoff call, I believe. And then the 5-day challenge is really more of a sales and strategy session where you can learn exactly how to go to market, how to build revenue off of it, and how to package it up properly. And I'm going to share some of the most common practices. And by the way, in case if you're watching this and don't have a high level account, as part of this 5-day challenge, you could take advantage of our 30-day trial. It also comes with a ton of our snapshots as part of the 5-day challenge, a ton of collaterals. We built out Facebook ads, landing pages, and a bunch of cool things for you, which I'll get into here in a little bit. Now, with the 5-day challenge, how does this work? My goal for you is very simple. I want to show you how to attract your first agency or SaaS customer and fulfill that inside of High Level while capturing a subscription payout with ease. So my whole goal here is to help you understand how to get your first customer. Not necessarily how to build out your sales team, not necessarily how to build out your long-term marketing plan, but my whole entire point, my entire objective with the 5-day challenge is to help you get to revenue. So essentially, you can make a little bit of money that will pay for High Level itself in a way. Okay, so as far as schedule and agenda is concerned, this is the way we used to do this, by the way. Every single day, we'll spend 30, 40 minutes going over a topic and then do a Q&A. Since then, we've changed it to where all on Monday, so today, I'm going to go over all 5 days worth of content. Is that okay? Is it okay if I share all 5 days worth of content all in one run, and then we'll provide a Q&A Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? Give me a one in the chat if that's okay with you. Okay, doesn't mean we're not gonna have the live sessions the next couple of days. It just means you don't have to wait for 5 days to get all the strategies all in one place. Okay, give me a one in the chat if that's okay. I see plenty of people saying yes. Okay, awesome. So today we'll go over literally everything that you need to know to get to market and close the deals and actually onboard everybody. Now, in addition to that, same time, Tuesday through Friday, we'll have Q&As, which will be a little shorter, maybe 30, 40 minutes, depending on how many questions there are, how many people jump in, and those are optional. I totally invite every single one of you to show up in addition to what you're doing. It'll probably give you a lot of clarity. And even today, we'll do a Q&A as well. So the pace of the program is up to you. Understand that everybody's coming from different parts of their entrepreneurial journey. And, you can kind of self-pace. And you also have access to a private Facebook group for 30 days. So the initial access for the 5-day challenge is 30 days long. After that, you do get prompted and welcomed and invited into our official community. So you still have access to all of us at the end of the day. But the 5-day challenge private Facebook group, it kind of looks like this. Let me just pull up my screen. That way you know what it looks like. Go ahead and go to the 5-day challenge. Okay, yeah. So sharing my screen. This is, oh, almost ended the call. Yeah. Okay. So this is what the 5-day challenge Facebook group looks like. This is what the cover looks like. And you'll see people in there. It looks like we are live right now, obviously. But yeah, you see all the content in there, people introducing themselves, sharing ideas, talking about A2P and all these different things that you kind of have to be aware of when it comes to setting up your clients. Okay. So make sure you get access to that 30-day Facebook group. And then remember, it's only for 30 days. After that, you'll get moved to our regular community. So you definitely want to take advantage of it while you're in there. Make sure you interact with people, network with people, exchange numbers and connect with people in your local areas and stuff like that. But remember, there's people in different stages of their business. If you are brand new in the entrepreneurial world, like this is the first time you've ever built a business, or this is one maybe your first time running a online business, give me the words new in the chat. So type in NEW in the chat if you are absolutely brand new in the world of marketing. Um, Let me see. I see a few people saying new, and don't be shy. It's totally fine. No one's judging you. We want to make sure you feel welcomed, and we want to make sure we support you. And that's why I like for you to identify yourself in a way so that way I can make sure whenever you ask questions, I'm there as much as possible, just like anyone else, but a little extra care here. Okay, awesome. I see all the brave folks that said yes, I'm new. Um, Okay, cool. And if you have been in the digital marketing world for a while and you've had other online businesses, give me a number in the chat that tells us how many years you've been doing this for. So if you've been doing this online businesses for about 5 years, you want to put a five in the chat. If it's your first year, put a one in the chat. Okay. Vanessa says she's seasoned. Yes, 3 years. New people, more new people. Okay, perfect. Rob says four. Okay, awesome. So we've got a mix of folks that are in two different lanes, right? Folks that have been doing online stuff for a while and folks that are brand new. And remember, you have access to this 5-day challenge course, there's two components to it. There's the online course where you can log in to HighLevel and go into the university on the left sided menu. Okay. And you'll see the 5-day challenge course. Okay. And that course, but you have access to it for life. All the resources that it comes with, you have access to it as well. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and go to the list of resources that you get. These are all the resources that you get. Okay. You have the agency snapshot, you have a client fulfillment snapshot, you have a workbook in there. You get access to the private Facebook group. You have the pre-recorded course. You have a pre-made prospecting funnel. You have white label onboarding videos, sales collateral, scripts, demos, demo slides, basically, sales tracker, FAQ, which number 10 is like a brochure for like the Chamber of Commerce and a BNI group if you want to print something out and go out there and share what you're doing with missed call text back being the focus. You also have Facebook paid ads and copy, where our internal marketing team went through and built out paid ads for you and basically made it available to all of you. You also have homework. Now, all these things are available to you if you have a HighLevel account. Okay, this is all completely free. If you don't have a HighLevel account for whatever reason, here's a link to sign up for a 30-day trial as part of this 5-day challenge. So go to gohighlevel.com/5DC hyphen offer. And this is going to expire as soon as the 5-day challenge is done here this week. So take advantage of it, and you get all these goodies at no additional extra charge, no nothing. It's completely free to you. Okay. So over the next 5 days, we're gonna go over. So like I said, we're going with the new format, especially this week. Which today I'm gonna teach you everything you need to know as far as strategy, sales, marketing, onboarding, all of that. I'm gonna teach everything right now. Tomorrow. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we'll do Q&A sessions for those of you that want to jump in and ask questions and just, kind of just, shoot ideas across with other people and just kind of get feedback. It's perfect for you to join over the next 4 days. Okay. But today I'm going to cover literally everything you need to know to help you get started. Okay. Same time again, 12 p.m. EST, and it'll be the same Zoom link as well. Okay. So let me just make sure a few more people jumped in, a few people in the lobby that are waiting. Okay, awesome. So first thing we have to go over is the offer itself. Okay, we've spent time with hundreds and thousands of marketing agencies and SaaSpreneurs to come back and say, you know what, the easiest go-to-market offers and strategies, we want to just share and build 5-day challenges around. That's what we've decided to do. And Missed Call Text Back is the first one. You'll see more challenges being rolled out here in the next couple of months. But what I want to do is help you get started with something and help you understand how to look at this offer the right way. And in addition to that, I want to help you understand the pricing, the packaging, and then we'll also review the Missed Call Text Back calculator, which helps you understand what's the actual worth to the business owner or this local business or your potential customer. And so that way you understand how to price yourself, whether you're going above or below the market and all of that stuff. Okay. So first things first, let's do an overview of what exactly is the Missed Call Text Back. Y'all ready to get excited? You're excited to get, I mean, are you excited and ready to get started? It helps me quite a bit to energize when I see everyone else engaging with me. So I'm paying attention to these comments. I know I just went over a ton of housekeeping items so far, so there's nothing to get excited there for. But I just want to make sure everyone is wanting more of these challenges and things like that. Okay, awesome. I'm seeing the positive feedback there. Okay. So here are a couple of things to remember. We've already crafted a gateway offer for you that has been proven. Thousands and thousands of agencies, freelancers, SaaSpreneurs have gone through this so far. What I mean by that is a 5-day challenge and proved to ourselves and themselves that our philosophy, the strategy in going to market is working, which is leading with one. Okay. The worst thing you can do in software sales is lead with multiple features. Matter of fact, you never even want to lead with any features. You want to lead with benefits or results that are relevant, not any results that are only relevant to the prospect that you're serving. Okay. But here's the thing, even though we've crafted up this gateway offer for you and it's been proven, this doesn't mean that you cannot do other offers later. This is the stepping stone I want you to consider. That's really all that is, okay? So let's take a look at it real quick. But before we go further, what exactly is Missed Call Text Back? Give me a one in the chat. Give me a yes in the chat, actually, if you are familiar with Missed Call Text Back. Those of you that have been around the HighLevel world for a while, how many of you know what Missed Call Text Back already is? Let me go ahead and check the comments here. If you are familiar with Missed Call Text Back, it's one of the popular features actually. It's not a complicated one. Let's see. I see a ton of you saying yes. Okay, there's a lot of you that are familiar with what a Missed Call Text Back is. So in simple terms, by the way, I'm not a techie at all. Y'all are way more smarter than I am when it comes to the technology piece. So bear with me as I, share some elementary explanations of all these things. But this is to help you understand the big picture here. Okay, so Missed Call Text Back basically is an internal feature inside of HighLevel that you can turn on or off for a local business that when they receive a missed call, it fires off an automation saying, "Hey, I missed your phone call. I'll call you right back." It's basically an internal feature that we have built into the system. Okay. So the thing is, local businesses miss a ton of phone calls every single day. One, because they don't have someone fielding the front desk, or even if they do, better yet, they often don't do a good job fielding all the phone calls, or maybe they're on a current phone call and they miss a call that's coming in while the other phone call's happening. But all to tell you that there's a lot of human error in the front desk for most businesses, right? It's probably the most chaotic place of a business in general in how they have to handle a ton of inquiries, ton of phone calls, ton of emails, people walking in. So that front desk is pretty chaotic. What you're doing with missed call text back is giving them an opportunity to start organizing it. That's what automations really do. It's organizes a business, right? So this is a high-level built-in feature that launches an instant reply to missed calls with a courteous message that acknowledges a missed call or prompts them to essentially self-book, or you can give a different call to action. You can throw a calendar. Let's say you're a pizza shop, you can say, "Hey, I missed your call, but are you calling about, the margarita pizza special we have this week?" So you can customize these messaging according to however you want. And some businesses will tell you, "Hey, prompt another call for me," or "Hey, send them to a calendar," or "Send them to this landing page," or "Send them the coupon code." Like you'll see different variations of it. But I just want to help you understand what missed call text back is. It's an internal feature you have inside of a sub account that you can turn on and off, and you may or may not want to charge for this, right? Sometimes you charge for this, sometimes you don't. But with the 5-day challenge, I want you to charge for this as a stepping stone of a SaaS offer. And this is going to help the ball move. It's going to help your business kind of roll into some sort of a feature, a stack basically. So idea here is to land and expand, and I'll share exactly how to do that. But we're leading with missed call text back. Okay. Now, the second thing you have to understand when it comes to this whole strategy, the 5-day challenge strategy, is the Trojan horse method. The Trojan horse method, how many of y'all are familiar with the Greek mythology story of the Trojan horse? Okay, let's see. Type in Trojan horse in the chat, or um, if you are familiar. Okay, let me see. I don't know why. For some reason, my phone is terribly slow in loading the comments, so there's a little bit of a lag. Sorry about that. Okay, yeah, there's a ton of you that are familiar with it. So it's a gruesome story, so don't don't get upset about it. But idea is to it was basically a group of it was like a castle. I'm sorry, it was a war between two regions, or I guess two kings. One king basically gifted the other king this big wooden Trojan horse with a bunch of wheels on it, and they rolled it in through the castle because they didn't have a way to open up the castle doors or the castle walls. So what they did was create a gift, a massive wooden horse that they stuffed soldiers inside of the wooden horse, and they were basically able to roll in this wooden horse through the castle walls. And overnight, the soldiers broke out of the wooden horse and killed everybody inside. So it's such a gruesome story. But when it comes to software, the big mistake that most people do is try to break through the castle walls of the business during prospecting with multiple features. Okay, that's the number one mistake I've seen agency owners, marketers, coaches, consultants, digital citizens, I mean, SaaSpreneurs. I've seen everybody make this mistake. They'll lead with two, sometimes three offers. Some of you even lead with five or six. Or worst case, worst one yet, I see people leading with HighLevel, all the features of HighLevel, all in one, and the local business just gets completely overwhelmed, right? In a scenario like that, where you feel like a prospect, wants to know everything about HighLevel, you almost don't even want to sell them SaaS. You want to sell them basically your affiliate packages and just help them onboard to HighLevel. That's probably even better, especially if they're techie like that and they can handle all those features. But most local businesses are not like that, right? So Idea here is to lead with one specific feature and then expand. And I'll tell you exactly how to expand, what to do, what to say, all of that stuff. So before we go any further, let's talk about the pricing and packaging. Okay. You have the gateway offer, which is a one-time offer. I want all of you to charge a setup fee. Okay. I'm not a fan of trials. If you're brand new starting out, I understand why a trial is valuable, but I'm not a fan of trials at all because guess what? Your software solution that you're going out to the market and sharing this whole thing doesn't require them to spend 7 and 14 days to understand the system. You're coming in with a pre-built solution, right? The reason why companies like us, like HighLevel, we prefer to give you a 7-day, 14-day trial, or even a 30-day trial, is because you have so many different features to go through, build out, and understand the full spectrum of the entire operating system. Where in your scenario, where you're going out to the local market like this, guess what? All they have to do is log into the conversations and field the messages if they want to do that, if you don't automate it, right? So there's no need for this big fancy trial. Okay. Now, in the beginning, if you're starting out and don't have any case studies, don't have any results just yet, or any proof in who you are, that social proof that if you haven't built any of that out yet, I understand. Maybe do a paid trial, maybe do a conditional trial that says, hey, I want to launch a trial within the first 2 days. Here's what I'm trying to accomplish. I'll bring back XYZ number of customers, or I'll make sure XYZ is happening. So you can have a conditional trial, but I'm not a big fan of trials, okay? Especially for all of you that are marketers out there. For us, it makes sense. Obviously, there's hundreds of features. It takes time for you to kind of understand all of it. So, gateway offer is a one-time fee of 297. That's what I'm recommending everyone charge. And there is a 7-day money back guarantee, which is an optional thing. I don't think that's needed often, but if you again, if you're starting out and you want to kind of just, win their hearts and just make sure there is a level of trust between both parties, you can always offer a 7-day money back guarantee. Now, your actual offer, your real offer is the core offer. It's not the gateway offer. Okay. It's the core offer. And I'll share with you what exactly is the core offer. But before I go into what the core offer is, I want you to understand this concept. How many of you love Starbucks? Any Starbucks drinkers out there? Any coffee consumers out there? How many of you love Starbucks? Give me a yes in the chat if you love Starbucks, or type in Starbucks. And the reason why I like bringing up Starbucks is because they're one of the best in the world at gateway offers, and it's something I've noticed. Even other SaaSpreneurs have. We talk about it quite often, right? Which is during the summertime, Starbucks has like a passion fruit juice, whatever drink, right? And it's only out there during the summertime. And then during the winter time, let's say during Christmas and New Year's time, they have peppermint mocha, blah, 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 something, right? But these are perfect examples of gateway offers that are built around certain seasons and holidays that they leverage to bring you in to essentially turn you into a coffee consumer. Because obviously, once you like the coffee, you've tasted it, and you like it, more than likely you may come back or you may even gift it for someone else, right? So that's the way a lot of these big businesses look at it. And in this scenario, this is the same way we want to look at it. Missed call text back, guess what? I'm not married to it just as much as you're not married to it. I just know it works in a local business to go to market and they get excited about it, right? It's just like the AI live chat. That's another Trojan horse that we're focused on and working on, maybe putting together a 5-day challenge. Just, database reactivation is another one. Reviews is another one. So we'll talk about multiple different types of Trojan horses, but I want you to just only focus on missed call text back. But I want you to know that a gateway offer allows you to go to market the easiest way, and no matter what happens. And then later on, what's happening is you're introducing them to the core offer. Okay. So what exactly is the core offer? The core offer is GMB, web chat, reviews, and mobile app. No matter what you sell out there, when it comes to your Trojan horse with relation to high level, with relation to selling software like CRM oriented software to a local business, these four gives you the best usage. Okay. And what I mean by that is in the world of SaaS, you want the most usage. You're not focused on revenue like you are as a marketing agency owner, right? You're focused on making sure your prospects, your users come in and uses the platform. You want to make sure they log in and use the platform as much as they can. Because once they use the platform, regardless of what's happening, they will be very much inclined to use rest of the platform, right? The rest of the platform, the secondary pillars that I often share is the unified inbox, the landing page, SMS and database reactivation marketing, thanks to Rob Bailey, who coined that term, email marketing and opportunities. Okay, let's pause for a second. Is everyone with me so far? Is this making sense? Am I going too fast? Am I not clear enough? Let me just feel free to just tell me how you're feeling. Let's see. Let's see. On my fourth coffee, Victor says. I love it. Yes, Trojan horse is working for Starbucks. Okay, everyone's with me so far. So, at least from the comments. So two things that you want to pay attention to as you kind of launch this whole Trojan horse. First things first, most of you come into the world of high level. Most of you come into the world of, let me have you stop raising hands. We'll do a Q&A after, y'all. It's distracting me. Sorry. So most of you come into the world of high level or technology in this whole realm as a digital entrepreneur, right? That's a little different versus a SaaSpreneur, right? The digital entrepreneur, in other words, like someone who wants to start an agency business or a coaching, a consultant, a freelancer, like if you're in the world of creating a service for a prospect, your main focus is capturing the revenue upfront, making sure before they churn out, you maximize the value, right? We talk about the ascension model of getting them in at like, $7 or $97 or moving them up to 1,000 to a 5,000, like that whole trajectory, right? That's the mentality of an agency owner, where the right mentality to have with something like this is to think like a software company. How do software companies think compared to the agency owners and digital entrepreneurs? The software companies don't care about revenue. That's not the number one focus. Their focus is stabilization of the user, right? How can I get a trial person, someone that's in a 14-day trial, 7-day trial, 30-day trial? How can I get them to use the platform forever? How can I get them, in a way, indoctrinated inside the features for the right solutions where they keep this thing for years to come, right? Here's what we know about the churn difference between a digital entrepreneur versus a SaaSpreneur. The digital products, so if you sell Facebook ads, Google ads, SEO, all that stuff, if you sell digital, even coaching programs, those types of service lanes have extremely high churn. From our data, I think the numbers are above like 72% within 90 days, right? So what that means is within 90 days, over 72% or at least 72% of your customers will cancel on you or change the offer or pivot into something else, giving the original offer churn. Where software, let's say you lead with one, and even if you expand into whatever, usually less than 5 to 7%, especially if you're a SaaS hybrid agency where you have both marketing services and SaaS, either way, your churn should be less than 5 to 7%. What does that mean? That means 95% of your customers will stay with you forever, right? They're staying on with you for a long time, couple of years, typically in software until a new software solution comes into the market, and then everybody migrates over to the new thing, right? So at that point, you just adapt, and figure out what's the next big thing and reiterate your original offer. Does that make sense? Is everyone with me? Because if you got nothing out of the 5-day challenge, that's the one big thing you have to understand is thinking like a software company versus a digital entrepreneur. Give me a yes in the chat if that made sense to you. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you all exactly how to expand in your offers. So going back to this right here. Okay, so now we have the gateway offer, we have the core offer. We're leading with the missed call text back as the gateway offer, having a 297 setup fee. Then we go into the 297 monthly recurring fee. Now, pop quiz, real quick, pop quiz to all of you. How long should you, how long do you have before you can expand your customers, your prospects from the gateway offer to the core offer? Timing of this is what matters most, in my opinion. If you wait too long, you're entering a whole new sales cycle. If you go too fast, it feels like you're baiting and switching the original offer. So there's a nice balance of timing on this. Give me the number of days or time. Maybe some of you have watched the 5-day challenge in the past. How long should you wait, or how long do you have before you switch your prospects from the gateway offer to the core offer? 14 days, 1 week, 2 months, 30 days, 7 days. Sony says 30 days. Oh man. Okay. 1 to 3 months. Okay. Well, I am so glad you all are part of the challenge because I'm going to tell you the timeline is really short, right? There is something called a 72-hour rule. 72-hour rule. That's the great rule of account management. Okay, so as soon as you bring in a customer with your gateway offer, which is what? The missed call text back. So as soon as you sell your missed call text back, we are not going to let more than 72 hours pass by before we onboard the customer to the core offer. Okay, that's the way things go. So, in other words, let me go ahead and stop sharing. Let's say on a Wednesday, you reach out to Kevin. I'm just picking a random name here on my list. Kevin's a small business owner, and you reach out to Kevin and you say, "Hey, Kevin, I'm in the beginning stages of starting a software company in your space, which I don't know. Let's say he's a cleaning company. So I'm gonna say, "Hey, Kevin, I'm in the beginning stages of starting a cleaning company, a software solution in the cleaning industry. Love for you to just spend a little bit of time with me and take a look at what I've got. And I would love to just get your feedback on it. And I have something called, right, a system that fields the front desk phone calls. And I just want you to take a look at it. That's the way we start our beta initial prospecting. Now, let's say you show the demo, you have a 1 minute demo, which I'll show you here in a second. You have the 1 minute demo where Kevin would call that number because you pre-built the demo, and Kevin will call in the number and you'll intentionally miss the phone call. And Kevin would see that you missed the phone call, and the system will automate a bunch of messages over to Kevin that says, hey, Kevin, looks like I missed your phone call. I'll get back to you in a little bit. Or, hey, do you want to directly book for an appointment here? And we'll have one of our cleaners come out there to your house next week, whatever that solution is that you want to build out. And then you're going to simply say, hey, what if I set this up for your business? And for me, it's just a setup of 297. And what's going to happen is you're going to schedule an onboarding call. Let's say you close the deal on a Wednesday. You don't want to go past Friday for the onboarding call. You're going to set up the onboarding call with Zoom. Initial sales could be done on a phone call where the actual onboarding is on a Zoom. Okay. On the Zoom call, what you're going to do is simply go into onboarding them as if you're onboarding them from multiple features. So you're going to basically say, because the theme of the entire conversation is phone calls, right? We're talking about phone calls as the big main thing. Because they have phone calls and phone numbers attached to their website, their Google My Business profile, their landing pages, their social planners, social channels. What we're going to do is basically get access to all those items, right? So going back to my onboarding, right? Going back to my core offer, here's what it all looks like. I want to make sure I get access to GMB. I want to install a web chat if they don't have one. So in order for me to do that, I've got to access their landing pages or websites. Then reviews, because most likely reviews are a big pain point for this business. And phone calls, the number of phone calls will increase when you have the number of reviews go up. That's an organic thing that happens. Then on top of that, you want to make sure that they install the mobile app. So here's the key. No matter what the Trojan horse is, no matter what it is, you always want to land a local business into these four primary pillars. These are features that are inside of HighLevel. And the reason why we have these four primary features is because these features gives you the most amount of usage from a local business, which is what we want as a software solution provider, right? We want to make sure our users use the thing that we're selling. Now, in addition to that, we have the secondary pillars, which are unified inbox. You have your landing pages, SMS DBR marketing, which basically means reach out to their old list and bring them back as customers with an enticing offer. Email marketing, you can throw in newsletters in there for those of you that want to be creative. You can throw in an AI chat in there for those of you that are advanced and creative. But the idea is to park them into this. So what exactly are we charging for what exactly are we providing for $297 on an ongoing monthly level? We have the 297 one time, and then we have the 297 recurring. Right? Everyone tell me, let me see how many of you all are paying attention here. I want you all to follow here. Okay, what are we selling for 297 monthly recurring fee? What are the features that we're providing? I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. Okay, we have, let's see. I'm looking at my comments here. What exactly do they get for 297? Right. They get the core offers on top of the missed call text back. On top of the missed call text back, right? So you get the core offers on top of the missed call text back, which you can easily justify a $297 monthly fee. Now, how much do you think a local business in the US at least spends in a month for software solutions? Right? What do you think is the highest amount a local business spends in software solutions in a month throughout, whether you're using this or not, right? It's about $800 to $900 a month, right? Someone says 1,000 to 10,000. Yes, franchises, maybe not local mom and pop shops. Okay, so about $800, $900. So what I'm telling you is there is a market share already that exists in most local businesses that they're spending money on software solutions from, right? All you're doing is tapping into that market share of a local business that can afford to spend 297 monthly and then 297 one-time setup fee. Now, I'm gonna put my previous agency owner hat on. What happens if a local business tells you, hey, Paulson, 297 is a little too much for me? What do you do? Here's my humble recommendation. Walk away. Because the worst thing you can do is lower your price and lower the value of what you bring to the table. We know for a fact that local businesses can afford these numbers. Okay. So even if they tell you, hey, can I start later or can I do something else? Even if it's multiple payments, you never want to lower the price of this because what's going to happen eventually, you're going to move them into expansion offers, right? So if they're telling you at 297 that they can't afford anything, it's totally fine. They more than likely won't be able to afford expansion offers later anyway, right? So to me, it may not be worth all the headache and time if they're that price centric at those numbers. Just FYI, that's just my personal preference. You may feel differently. You may go sell this whole thing at $97 a month when you're starting out, which is totally fine. I just want you to understand the principle of how I look at pricing, how I look at this whole business model, because eventually you want to get to a stable book of business that have almost no fulfillment, right? When I come across prospects that are price centric, somehow they turn into custom projects. I don't know how, but they tend to do. They want the folks that pay less, they expect a lot for the small amount that you're paying. And I don't know why that is, but that's just the way the cards fall quite often, right? The folks that pay $100,000 for something, they don't really worry too much about it. They're like, you know what? I hired an expert, and they typically leave you alone. And you get to go fulfill a beautiful project however you want to. And that's just the lane of digital marketing in general. You may have different experiences, but just want you to understand this is the business model that we're basically following. Now, core offers here, secondary pillars are there. Now, let's look at this. Let me pull up this Excel sheet. Are you guys able to see my Excel sheet? Okay, this Excel sheet link is inside of the 5-day challenge resources area, but I just want to show this to you just so you understand the power behind this business model. We have the monthly recurring fee at 297 on the top left corner. Let me see if I could zoom in a little bit more. Is that better? Is that better? Let me see here. Okay, looks like that's a little better. So, sorry. Okay, so if you have a monthly recurring charge of 297, give me a different number. Let's say we do this for $97 a month, okay? And then you have a setup fee of 500 for whatever reason, just for giggles. I'm just doing this just so you can see the full on numbers, okay? Here's a way it would work. Your setup fee, you're getting one-time fee, right? So if you had a goal of 5 new customers every single month, by the way, that's a pretty conservative number. You could easily get 20 to 25 new customers for SaaS once you get the ball rolling in paid ads and all the marketing, email marketing and all that. Once all that is flowing, you can hit a lot bigger numbers. But let's say you have a goal of 5 new SaaS customers every single month and you're charging 97 bucks a month and your setup fee is 500. This is the way your setup fee would look like. $2,500 every single month that would come in. Now, here's the thing, your results may vary. These are common results we see with our customer base, but none of these numbers are guaranteed, okay? I'm just giving you an example of how to look at this depending on your skill set, depending on where you are, depending on the offer, depending on the market you go to, your results may totally vary. You may not make any money off of this if you don't have the right offer. Okay. I'm gonna just tell you how it is. Okay. Now, total revenue every single month should be at 297 because now at 97 times 5, you're at 485. But the crazy thing about the second month is that you have a new baseline, right? Your new baseline going into the next month because your churn rate is so low is 485 plus the next 5. So by the time you get to a 1 year worth of run at 5 customers a month at 97, which is really, really low, you'll be at 5,800 on a monthly recurring revenue, right? That's different than your total revenue. Now let's go to realistic numbers that I think everybody could do is 297 and 297. So 297 recurring charge, 297 setup fee. Now, here's a golden nugget that I want to share with all of you that are watching this live. With the new presidents of A2P, all these local businesses have had to get A2P approved. So you know what a lot of agencies are doing? They're charging $1,000, somewhere around $1,000 or even more, like an attorney fee almost, to get their A2P set up. Okay, so don't be afraid of A2P. It's an opportunity for you to charge a bigger setup fee. And, it's a new revenue line we've seen the previous challengers basically take on. So even if you didn't, at 297, this is what it looks like. You have your monthly setup fee if you have 5 customers, okay? Monthly setup fee of 297, which is at 1485. And then you have the new recurring revenue that comes in and builds every single month, okay? Every single month. So eventually, by the end of the year, if you're at 60 customers, let's just say you're at, even if you're at 50 customers by December, you're at 14 grand recurring fee. Now, the other side of it that you want to pay attention to is the 1485. This is more important than the total recurring fee in my mind, because what can you do with 1485? Can you hire a client success manager? Yes, you can. You can hire a client success manager part-time at $1,500 a month easily. You can run paid ads for $1,500 a month and bring in new customers. If you don't like sales, you can hire someone that handles sales for you. Okay. So these are areas of opportunity in my opinion, but this Excel sheet is available to you. This sheet, it's available in the course itself. Okay. Now, here's what I want to share with you when it comes to justifying your pricing to yourself as well as your customers, right? So this is a landing page our team built out for you. So let me pull that up. You have this available to you as well in the course. You can download it and use it. Now, this particular landing page, you don't need to send this to your customers. They're not going to know how to use this. This is really more for yourself to understand the value of what you're bringing to the table. Okay. So let's say, give me an industry. What industries are y'all mostly interested in? Let's see here. I'll explain what A2P is here in a second during our Q&A. What are some niches and local businesses and industries that you all are thinking about starting? Okay, someone says law firm, well-being, roofers. Okay, let's just go with law firm for a second. Okay, so average client value of a law firm, let's say, is $2,500, right? And I may be totally off or on, but either way, I'm just giving an example. Let's say they miss about 100 phone calls because someone up front is not answering. Okay, so 2,500 times 100, that's $25,000, right? Let me double check here. I don't know why I'm having a brain fart. Let's see here. 2,500 times 100. Yes, that's $250,000, right? So their total number of revenue that they would have saved if they answered every single one of those missed calls and they closed all of them would be $250,000 at these numbers. So let's say they close 5%, right? If they closed 5% of the missed calls that we bring back to the table, what would that look like? So 250,000 times 0.05, it's 12,500. Plus, you're charging 297 monthly, so you subtract 12,500 minus 297, you get 12,203. That's in their pocket because they turned on this particular package. Is everyone with me so far? This is a way we justify to the prospect how and what we bring to the table. So what you want to do is take their average client value, times it by the number of missed calls they may or may not have. And out of those missed calls, let's say you close 5% through the automations or bring them back, you have usually a number that's way above than 297 or even $500. Matter of fact, a ton of folks, they go up to $500 on this package once they get to a couple of customers. They feel the confidence about it, they understand what it brings to the table, and go from there. So let's go with a high volume business versus a high revenue package, right? So let's say a restaurant average client value being maybe 50. Okay. This is what it would look like, right? You see there it's negative 47. So they wouldn't make any money off of this if they only had 100 missed calls and they close 5%, right? So when you go with high volume businesses, you want to make sure they have high volume of phone calls. This whole package will not work if they don't have missed phone calls, right? So you want to be at like 250 for something like this. And let's say you close 20% out of the 250. So let's say 50 times 250, the most amount of money they would have brought in was 12,500. You times that by 20%, you're at 2,500. 2,500 minus 297, you're looking at 2,200 that they bring back to the table at this kind of a model, which is $50 a client. So it's perfect for like a restaurant that has way more than 100 missed calls. So if you go down to, let's say, 50 missed calls, right? Well, 50 is even better, but let's say they only closed 1%. Now they're losing money, right? So this gives you an idea of what kind of a business to qualify and not qualify, right? Or not say yes to get started. This is for you. This is not something I would necessarily send to my customers. I would just basically say, "Hey, let me just show you how it all works." Okay? Is this making sense so far? Are y'all with me so far? Give me a yes in the chat if you're following me so far. And everything I shared was about the offer itself. Any questions on the offer? Before I move forward to day two content, so today we're sharing day one, day two, day three, day four, day five. All 5 days worth of content right now. So that way you don't have to, wait for the whole week to get everything. Okay, I see a ton of one. So quick review. We're leading with one Trojan horse, which is a missed call text back. Within 72 hours, we're expanding them to the core pillars, which is GMB, reviews, mobile app, and what else? One more. Let's see how many of y'all were paying attention. Okay. Web chat. It's a live web chat. So GMB, live web chat, reviews, and mobile app. Those are the core that we land all clients into, regardless of the Trojan horse. So then 297 is what we're charging setup fee one time, and then 297 is what we're charging recurring monthly for the core offer. Now, the one big question everyone may have, but haven't asked just yet, okay, is who's covering the text cost and the email cost for a model like this, right? Who's covering it? Help me. I'm curious of what you think. Do you feel like you should cover the text costs, especially in the beginning stages? Or do you want to offload the texting and email cost to the client? Let me see what Michelle says to the client. Okay, what else? What is everyone else feeling? Okay, let's see. Does that include a landing page? Well, it can, but landing page does not get you usage. The reason why we go with these core pillar offers, the GMB reviews, as well as mobile app and live chat, is because they use the platform with those the most. Everything else, the secondary pillars, they're all included, but we don't turn it on unless they need to in the onboarding call. Okay. A lot of you are saying offload it to the client. Okay. Now, here's what I recommend at the 297 range in the beginning stages. If you are advanced and you already have the 497 SaaS plan, then okay, cool. Offload it to the client. But if you're starting out and you're on the high level 297 plan, not the SaaS plan, but the 297 agency plan, and you're trying to figure out how to kind of get the ball rolling, I recommend educating the customer on the SMS and the email cost, but I don't recommend you charging them right out of the gate. The reason why is because now you're creating a new layer of objections and resistance, especially in the beginning stages while sales and marketing it maybe not a thing yet for you, right? So for those of you that are new, I recommend you covering the cost for the local business, okay, until you feel comfortable putting together the SaaS Pro account. Once you have the SaaS Pro account, you start developing that voice in marketing and sales, and you see the fulfillment and the benefits of it. At that point, yes, I agree with everyone else here that says, yes, offload it to the customer. Now, here's the thing. I don't want any one of you to niche down. No niching down when it comes to this, okay? In the beginning stages, I want you to focus on building this out, getting your feet wet, serving a customer, understanding all the different pieces of it. And I've shared this with our mastermind crowd. I've shared this in our 3-day workshops. I've shared this in other programs as well. I look at the number 25 as the beta number in my mind. Until you're at 25 customers, in my mind, respectfully, you're in beta. The reason why I say that is because it takes 25 customers to really understand who you are in the marketplace, how you've positioned yourself, and also kind of ironing out your offers. Like maybe missed call text back is not something you're excited about. Maybe you want to lead with reviews as your Trojan horse. Maybe you want to lead with AI chatbot or live chat as your Trojan horse. Maybe you want to lead with something else, right? So I think that 25 client mark is the cutoff. Like 25 clients gives you enough data points to decide which industry to go after and not. So the beginning stages, I don't want you to niche down. I want you to have a focus though in the local market. So focus on local mom and pop shops, not franchises, not big corporate brands, not multi-location businesses. Just focus on mom and pop shops to get your feet wet because guess what they want? They want someone they can shake hands with, they can jump on a Zoom with, jump on a quick phone call with instead of calling a 1-800 number, right? They don't want that. So local businesses make total sense, in my opinion, up to 25 customers. So your launch strategy is going to be different than your scale strategy. And this is something I share in all programs that I'm teaching. Your scale strategy is going to be a little bit more focused. You're going to decide on an industry. You're going to decide on maybe one or two big packages. You're going to decide on social channels and paid ads channels at that point. But at 25 customers, where are you in revenue? We're a much more healthier business. You have enough ammo to go play with and say, you know what, Paulson, I can run 5K in paid ads. I can hire a prospecting team for 5K with cold emailing and cold marketing. I can pay 5K to a account manager or a salesperson to handle some of the fulfillment, right? So your business totally changes at that 25 client mark. Okay. Everyone with me? Whoa, all these Zoom features are going buck wild. Hopefully, this does not throw off the streaming. At least I did the Zoom updates. Jordan and Ethan are probably really proud that I did the Zoom updates. But sorry, don't mean to get all these graphics going. But does that make sense? Is everyone following me so far? Do you understand why I'm saying, Focus on the 25 client mark before you scale with the specific industry. Everybody with me so far? Give me a yes in the chat if that makes sense. Okay. And the next thing I want to do is go over exactly where you can get all the tech stuff, the snapshots and all of that. Okay. I'm refreshing my page here. Okay. Um, all right. Any questions? Someone says, what if the prospect does not have a website? Doesn't mean you have to be the one solving it. Right? It doesn't matter. If they have You're going to find prospects with all kinds of needs, but the main focus needs to be you. You ever been on like an airplane and their emergency announcements and all of that says, put your mask on first before you give it to anyone else beside you, right? That's the same mentality I have. You're going to come across businesses that have all kinds of problems. Doesn't mean you solve all those problems, okay? And you're going to be tempted to because they're going to be throwing money at you. You're like, okay, you know what? I can create revenue for myself. Let me just go solve this. And then all of a sudden, you find yourself 90 days later on a custom project to automate their whole entire business. Don't fall into that trap. We want you to build your own business first before you figure out ways to custom build everybody else's. So, yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let's see here. I'm seeing a few questions on the mobile app. So yeah, the mobile app is basically a application. So like either you can use the Lead Connector app, which is a gray label branding we have. We also have HighLevel, or you can set up your own white label branded app which I don't think you need in the beginning. So I would use Lead Connector if you don't want high level branding out there. But a lot of folks, a lot of business owners already know what high level is. They rather go with someone who has high level expertise. So don't be afraid to share that you're building on top of an operating system like high level. It's become a common name, very much like WordPress, right? Your customers know what WordPress is and they want you to build on WordPress. So similarly, automations in a local space it being built on high level is pretty popular now. So mobile app is basically you getting them to go to their app store, whether it's Google or Apple, getting them to download either the high level app or the lead connector app, and you're going to have them log in where they see the conversations, right? When a missed call text back system is firing off, all those conversations get populated in the conversations unified inbox. So they're going to just get the notifications. They're going to see the activities of their business all the way through. And if you can get them to watch their business through the mobile app, you're going to get the highest amount of usage, right? The key to all these features here, this whole feature stack is to make sure your customers gives you the highest amount of usage capability, right? It's not about the money you make with them, like a digital entrepreneur, like an agency owner. Okay. So without any further ado, let's see, 1207. All right, we're moving right along. Okay. The next thing I want you to know about is day two, which is the setup day, right? The only thing I'm doing here is going to tell you exactly where to go and how to set this all up. I'm not going to spend time clicking click by click. One, I'm not a techie person either, so I don't want to make any mistakes, but I'm going to tell you exactly how to find the agency snapshot, the client snapshot, the overview of the online modules, and how to access the whole thing. So when you log into HighLevel, and you go into, let's say, um, inside one of your sub accounts, you can go to memberships on the left sided corner here. It says memberships, and you go under courses, and then you go to products. Okay, and I'm looking at this from a course creators view. Okay, and what you'll see is the actual course, the online course for the 5-day challenge. This is something you have access to. Okay, so the agency snapshot is right here. So day two, lesson 3, install the 5-day challenge agency snapshot. Now, Lesson two, day three. So on preview, this is what it looks like when you log in. Okay. So if you scroll down and go to day two, you'll see here lesson three. That's the agency snapshot. What is an agency snapshot? Agency snapshot is basically the automation tree our team built out with all the automations that you need for yourself as an agency, right? So the landing pages are involved in there. Literally everything you need to go to market is in there. So if you click on that link, you'll see our good old Chase Buckner is the one that recorded this whole thing, and this module will go click by click on how to install all the tech pieces for the missed call tech spec. Okay, we're not going to go through every single one of those things, but here you'll see that. And there's another module called fulfillment, and in also that fulfillment module, there's click by click instructions of how to set this all up. Now, if you go to the description, you'll see that the description has the snapshot link right there. So look at the descriptions in case if you cannot find the direct links, okay, the snapshot links. Sometimes, so you grab that and you post it in a browser and the system will start downloading. Now, the second snapshot, so that's your agency snapshot, okay? Now, the second snapshot that our team built out for you is in day five, fulfillment. Day five, you go to lesson one. It says sub account creation. Um, Sub account meaning the client, your end client. Let's say you're onboarding someone. This is for them, not for you, right? This is for them to be able to experience missed call text back, and Chase also went through it click by click, giving you instructions. And in the description here, there's another link for that snapshot. So take a look at that. Let me see what else do we need to cover here on day two stuff. In case if you're stuck for whatever reason and you want to talk to a live agent outside of the 5-day challenge live sessions, you can always go to speakwith.us/success, and that'll take you to a live Zoom with someone. Okay. Now, when it comes to the tech side, let me give you some instructions. Set up a whole new sub account for the purposes of missed call text spec. One of the other common mistakes I've seen people make is, let's say you already have an existing agency funnel landing page or a sub account, and sometimes they will throw missed call text spec in as another offer in the mix of things. I think that's a huge mistake. So we have a dedicated landing page and funnel built out for missed call text spec. Run it as a standalone offer. Okay. In the market. So I would say give this whole offer at least 60 days, and don't present any other offers outside of this one. Like go all in on this offer because I do know it works. We've had, I think, Jordan, correct me if I'm wrong, but like we've had 17,000 agencies go through the 5-day challenge, and massive number of people are getting for their first customers off of this. So when I'm sharing this with you, it's from a lot of proof in the pudding. So, take it with a grain of salt, but I'll tell you, run the missed call text back as a separate offer, separate standalone offer. So if you're ready for it, can I share the marketing behind this? Can I share how we go to market with this and then also talk about the sales component of it? And give me a yes in the chat if you are ready for me to go into day three. We talked about day one, which is the offer. We talked about day two, which is all the tech stuff. And I showed you where you can find instructions for the tech stuff. By the way, the tech stuff shouldn't take you more than 30 minutes to set up. If it takes you longer than 30 minutes, something is wrong. Jump into a success call with one of our live agents and they'll double check with you, troubleshoot with you. Now, in case if you are wondering why you don't have access to the Facebook group yet, when you request access, our team will go through and double check your billing. We get a lot of non-high levelers trying to join it. So this is specifically private, built out for high levelers. So they just have to check the billing and they usually will set up access. Okay, someone says yes, marketing, please. Okay. So let's go through the marketing component of the 5 day challenge, which is day three. Dream 100. How many of you have heard of the terminology or this term called Dream 100? It's a pretty popular term. So we're going to build on the concept of Dream 100 using that to get to market. And I'll share some of the launch strategy versus scale strategy as well. So you'll have a full range of ideas of exactly how to go about it. The first thing you want to do is create a list of everyone in your network that is in business. And I'll show you exactly how to do that. The second thing is your sales scripts with missed call text back as your main focus. And the third thing is identifying business groups. So right now I'm going to go through day three, which is marketing. Day four is going to be around sales on how to close those deals. And day five content essentially is about onboarding. By the way, we're going through all of it right now, just rapid firing. So you have the entire, all five lessons. So you can get, really get to working and get to focusing on your business right out of the gate. Okay. So Dream 100, it's based on the idea that it's far more effective to focus on sales efforts on a smaller number of dream clients than reaching a large number of prospects. Concentrating on dream clients specifically can create powerful and focused approach tailored directly to them. But in this scenario, I don't want you to necessarily do Dream 100. I want you to focus on first 100, right? Your first 100. That's the pivot that we're going to make. So in the old magazine industry, they used Dream 100 to attract big, powerful celebrities. So what they would do is surround that celebrity with all kinds of marketing material. They'll send them something in mail. They'll have a person reach out to them at an event. They'll, put a billboard in their neighborhood. Like it's literally that kind of an old school mentality of surrounding the prospect. And you do that with your Dream 100 clients or potential clients. Eventually, over time, the odds are in your favor is how they look at it, right? So that's the way the old magazine editorial world functioned in attracting a ton of those celebrities. Okay. Now, of course, we're not going after celebrities right out of the gate. We're focused on local mom and pop shops. So I want you to convert that mentality to first 100. What is the first 100? The first 100 is basically a list of local entrepreneurs that you've identified, whether you have a relationship with them or not. It doesn't matter. I want you to put together a list of anyone in your network that is in business or entrepreneurship and and create that list. But here's the thing that I want you to pay attention to. What you're really doing is building a client criteria. Okay. You're building a client criteria. Now, what is a client criteria that makes sense for the missed call text back? Because it's not just about any clients, they have to find value in the missed call text back. So here are the criteria that make sense for the missed call text back. Number one, volume of phone calls and missed calls. If they don't use the phones, it doesn't matter whether they want to give you money or not, or they say yes to getting started. It doesn't matter. You're not going to be able to provide the right type of value in order to have the stickiness of the long-term SaaS benefit, right, for yourself. So number one is the volume of phone calls and missed calls. Number two, a phone-oriented transaction. If those businesses that you're focused on, if they do transactions over the phone or collect payments over the phone, odds are in your favor that they will never get rid of a phone-oriented system. So for missed call text back, it's a perfect type of customer. Okay. Number three, local businesses are far more suitable for something like this versus online businesses. So like a online coach and a consultant does not fit this model. A online e-commerce store does not fit this model. An online network of some kind does not fit this model. This is very relevant to the local business. Okay. Now, because it's local, I don't want you to niche down. Remember, we established the fact that niching down is not advised in the beginning stages. Until you get to that 25 client mark and you're ready to scale, that's the only time you essentially would start building your own narrow lanes of a certain focus. You can pick maybe one or two or even three total industries. But even then, you want to be able to create the right noise in the market without diluting your messaging, right? So you don't want to go into healthcare, then real estate, then I don't know, crypto, right? Like you want to have your narrow lanes in the same exact industry. So for me, my old agency, I would have done I was already focused on dental, so I would have done orthodontist as a complementary um, to my original niche. I would have done cosmetic med spas because it had something to do with beautification, right? So, like, you want to pick lanes that are complementary to each other when you do scale. But until then, you don't need to niche down. You don't need to worry about that until you kind of get your feet wet, you understand your model and offers and all that stuff. So, everyone with me on your client criteria: one, volume; second, the type of transactions that they do; third is the local business focus. Okay. The next thing I want to share with you is the benefits of leveraging your own network, the speed, right? So in the grand scheme of things, here's the positioning. So let me stop sharing. I think I should have shared this before. In the grand scheme of things, the positioning that you are entering the market with is that you're starting a software company and you're reaching out to local businesses in an area or folks that you have some sort of a relationship with that's in a warm network of some kind, and you're getting feedback from them. You're asking them, hey, listen, I'm starting a software company. I want your feedback because I see you as someone who's an expert in that XYZ industry. Now, remember, we're niching down. So what we're telling every single business owner is that we're focused on their industry because we may very well be interested in each one of those industries because we don't know where we're scaling, right? So because we don't know that just yet, we're going along with the idea that we are going to build a dedicated software solution for that specific industry. So guess what happens? Because you're transparent and you're telling them you're in the early stages of starting and putting this beta together of software solution, results may vary. You're not on the hook to generate leads, right? You're basically requesting feedback at a lower discounted rate. So the 297 monthly recurring charge and the 297 setup fee, these are your beta prices. These are not your long-term prices. As soon as you get to that 25 client mark and you're out of beta, more than likely you're going to go up to 500 a month. More than likely, if you're like Andy Audet or Adam Earhart, the guys that I've done 3-day workshops with, you're moving up to like 850 or $1,000 for bigger type of customers, or you're adding a bigger tech stack to the original core offer. Maybe you're combining that with Facebook ads. Maybe you're combining the core offer with database reactivation. Maybe you're advanced enough at that point to kind of create a bigger solution, right? So more than likely your prices will go up. So in the beginning stages, you're putting together the beta, and guess what happens? These 4 or 5 people that you're going to reach out to and build this relationship with, they're going to become your future affiliates or future business partners, right? And you can share profit with them. You can share an affiliate commission with them. You can share referral fees with them. You can figure out how to bring them in the loop. That's up to you. But the idea is to put together that initial beta offering with the concept that this may fall apart. This may not work. I want your feedback so I can build out what's relevant for you. Here's what you will find as you go into different industries. You may find that even though you led with missed call text back, there are other things that they're more excited about. Like Let's say if you are going into the creator space, like influencers that are creative, design oriented, branding oriented people, for them, the social planner might be the next big thing, right? So you may leverage that as your Trojan horse versus missed call text back, but you don't know any of these things until you go to market and start talking to people, which is why I'm giving you a launch plan, right? So going into your network, meaning the folks that you have ever dealt with. So let me give you a couple of examples of entrepreneurs that could be in your network that you may not be paying attention to. Okay. Home services. How many of you own a home or have your own residence where you had to call a plumber, electrician, an HVAC person, or maybe a landscaper? These four people come pretty often to my house. I don't know about you, but these are just four leads that I can go and be like, hey, I'm working on starting a software company in the landscaping space. I know you have a good reputation. Could I show you something that I built out and just get your feedback? You jump on a call, show them what it is. You have a 1 minute demo that you pre-built, and they see it, and you ask them, "Hey, can I set this up for you at a discounted rate versus my normal fee that I'm going to charge once I go to market with a full-blown, business?" Right? That's the positioning of this entire 5 day challenge. Right? Now, most of you are wondering, well, Paulson, I don't have a big network, or I don't feel comfortable asking my network just yet, which is why I tell you to be completely transparent with them and let them know you're in the early stages of building this out. There's no results that you can guarantee, but here's what you're trying to accomplish. I am trying to field 100% of the phone calls that come in. I'm trying to field, like, how many business owners will say no to someone who's giving them reviews, who's consolidating all of their conversations in one place, who's fielding all their missed calls, and providing a live chat on their online assets like landing pages and websites. In addition, providing them a mobile app where they can monitor all of this in one place. Give me a yes in the chat if you feel like that's worth a local business's time. Like they would pay for that. Give me a yes in the chat if you feel strongly that you can easily justify this. Okay. Okay. A ton of you are saying yes. Now, here's what I don't want you to mistake. These core people in the beginning stages, they are to be positioned as a future affiliate or a partner, right? These are your case studies that you're building out. Once you build these out, you're going to provide them some sort of a revenue structure. That's what I recommend. You don't have to, but I recommend giving them a lifetime of a commission structure. So any business that they bring in, give them 40% of revenue. If you want to position it as a referral fee, hey, anytime you bring in a person, I'm going to give you $297 flat fee. And where's that coming from? That's coming from the setup fee I charged my customer. Or break it, charge 1,000 to the customer and provide your referral partner $500, or even $1,000 if you want to be aggressive. But what happens to your business if you had, let's say, 5 people outside of you offering what you do? You now have built a small little group of a sales team, right? Of course, it's not going to be predictable sales. It's not going to be consistent as you would like for it to be, but there's a group of people that are vouching for you, that are basically, kind of in the market with you, right? So it's a huge advantage if you do Dream 100 the right way and create your first 100. Now, here's another place where you can find people in your network: your old email accounts. I had one of the challengers reach out to me, tell me, "Hey, Paulson, I went through my old email accounts and I had about 80, 90 people in there in my contacts saved that I haven't talked to in a while." So, because you have And this only works with the warm network, okay? If you haven't had any like interactions with those people, they're not going to jump on a call with you. So this does not work with cold traffic, right? So you want to build a list of someone that you had interactions with. Even if it's a minor interaction, you simply want to stand on that interaction and say, "Hey, I met you at this birthday party a few months ago, and I thought about you because I remember you telling me you have a plumbing business." That's it. That's the type of stepping stone you want to have. It doesn't have to be a big, in-depth relationship. So is everyone with me on the first 100? And this is just the launch plan. This is for you to just build out your core affiliate team, your core referral partner team, right? Because we're thinking of this as a software solution, right? We're not thinking of it as it's a agency offer. We're thinking of it as software. Because it's software and it's low churn, you can afford to provide revenue share with other people, right? Is everyone with me so far? Okay. Does it work with WhatsApp too? Of course. You can build out your own Trojan horse. I'm just giving you the first starting point, right? I'm not married to missed call text back any more than you are. But guess what? All these businesses, especially in the local space, have the problem of fielding their phone calls. So this allows you to get started. So let's go over the first sales scripts, which I just explained, right? I just explained the idea that, let me see here. Looks like okay, yeah, here you go. This is what I just explained, right? This is the concept of reaching out to someone that you already know. And you have these scripts, by the way, in the course. You have full access to all of these. And there's actually 8 to 12 different sales scripts that I've built out for cold as well. So you can take a look at it. And I recommend you editing this down, like simplify this down to your own comfort level and start reaching out to people. So here's the way it looks like. Hey, first name. So let's say, hey, Lucas. I wanted to reconnect with you regarding business actually and run a few things by you. I noticed that you have a good reputation in the community with your services and products. When would be a good time for us to connect? I would like to understand more about how I can send people over to you. So you're positioning yourself as a referral partner to them because you're in business as well, and also would like to get feedback on a business launch that I'm working on in the software space with regards to the plumbing industry. I'm just throwing a random example out there, right? So you want to position it as if you're starting a software company in their space. And because they're in that space, you want to position them as the expert that you want feedback from. Is everyone with me? It's an easy way to jump in and start a conversation. Could we set up a phone call so I can share progress? And what you want to do is, so let me go over the setup of this. So previous to you doing your outbound calls and reaching out to your warm network, you want to set up a phone number for yourself, your own agency, essentially your own missed call text back, right? You're going to set it up for yourself. And you're going to kind of memorize that number. Like that's the number that you always want to remember. So anytime you go meet people and they ask you, "Hey, Paulson, what do you do?" Well, let me show you. Can you dial this number real quick? And they're going to get the missed call messages and basically see the automations live, and you can basically say, well, this is what I do for local businesses. It's what I call the 1 minute demo, and it's been working flawlessly for everybody. I have yet to get a single complaint about the 1 minute miss call text back demo. Okay, so you're going to set up your number before you go out and reaching out to people and all of that, which follow day 2 content in the course. Chase walks you through click by click. It doesn't take more than 30 minutes to set up. But once you do all that, you want to basically create that list, go out to the market, and start calling. Now, how many of you are? So that's the marketing positioning. Everybody with me so far? Give me a yes in the chat if you're with me so far. Now, let me also address one more thing. those of you that do not have a big network, if you're a person that don't have a big network, maybe being social is not a thing that you've done in the past and you don't have a big list. Maybe if you're in that category, I want to invite you to go to a business community group. So every local market in the US, at least in Canada, there is an organization called Business Networking International or Business Network International. It's called BNI. Then you have the local Chamber of Commerce. And if you're in Canada, there's municipalities and province groups that you can get together. And what you're going to do is, go out there and start shaking hands and meet people. You want to meet about 10, 15 people that you can later call back and say, hey, I met you at the BNI. Can I run something by you? I remember you telling me you're in the landscaping business, and I'm building out a software solution for that industry. I would love to get your feedback. So the angle of the marketing and the positioning of the offer is still the same. The only thing you're doing is creating that in-person interaction that you can stand on over the phone call. Everybody with me so far? Is this making sense? Okay. This is gonna feel really simple. I don't That's always the feedback I get. Paulson, this seems so simple. And the reality is it is simple. But you have to do this at volume, right? You have to do this at volume. It takes maybe 10, 15 demos to really get comfortable, and you'll develop that voice. Okay. So the next thing I want to share with you is the actual sale of it, the sales component of how to close the deals and really understand the sales pieces of it. Okay. So first thing you have to remember is, okay, this is day 4 content. This is the sales content, just FYI. So we're rapid firing, so I can get to Q&A and we can get through onboarding right after this. Okay. So day 4. Understanding your tech partnership with HighLevel. One of the objections that'll come across that may surprise you is when you show your platform off, the dashboard, you may come across a couple of business owners that say, well, I've seen this before. Is this HighLevel? Right? You may come across scenarios like that. So I want to help you navigate through that objection. Number 2, I've already shared when I spoke on the marketing component of it, which is the 1-minute demo, and I'll review that real quick. And then number 3, I want to help you understand what kind of volume does it take for you to land your first customer. Remember, my whole entire objective for the 5-day challenge is getting you your first customer. I'm not focused on building out your big sales team. My focus is not building out, 1,000 cold emails tomorrow and 1,000 cold calling tomorrow. If you watch one of our 3-day workshops with experts that I bring in for those interactions, feel free to take a look at that. But I recommend you setting up the 5-day challenge first, getting a customer at least in-house before you implement some of those things in the big workshops, the 3-day workshops that we do. In case if you want info on that, it's in our YouTube channel, our Facebook groups. We have hundreds and hundreds of hours of content around how to expand your business. So either way, creating the momentum with your outreach efforts when it comes to numbers matters a lot. So I want to share that. Okay. So understanding your tech relationship with HighLevel, we are your development arm, right? So the way you want to go about it is like, well, yeah, we build everything we have on top of HighLevel. HighLevel is the operating system that we use. That's how you handle the objection of people saying this looks familiar. HighLevel is the operating system we use, just like any other digital company. So we become like a AWS or a Salesforce or a cloud sort of a system that you're building your intellectual properties on around the industry that you're serving, right? The real thing that you're selling is your strategy and your expertise of the industry that's built on HighLevel, not HighLevel features, right? Because at the end of the day, anybody can grab HighLevel features, but the combination of what you're doing and putting it all together into a relevant solution to that local business is the actual is the actual offer. It's not high level. So you remember and understand the differences there. So when you do come across that objection, you have a way to tackle it. Inviting people into the quick 1 minute demo. Ideally, here's what I don't recommend. I don't want anybody to do the formal, agency Zoom calls. The corporate slides for 45 minutes where you got the whole team on a Zoom and they're driving half the time and you're trying to sell them on Facebook ad services and all these different things. Like that world could just completely go away with the solution like this where they can see the demonstrated solution on a phone call, right? Just because like that's one of the advantage missed call text back has compared to other Trojan horses. You can do a 1 minute demo where let's say you're doing landing pages as a Trojan horse, which I don't ever recommend. If you do, you have to then show them a landing page, right? So it's a bit more difficult in showing them that on a phone call. You can't explain what a landing page looks like. They have to see it, right? So that's one of the big advantage Miss Call Text Spec has. But here's the thing: don't waste your time doing these formal Zoom calls because on the onboarding call, we are going to ask them to jump into a Zoom call. We want their tech expert in-house or whoever as well, if they want to invite them to join that Zoom call as well. And this also allows them to feel comfortable. Like they're like, okay, this is a real person behind this business. I didn't just randomly sign up for something, right? This is where you tell them about all the different services you have. You basically integrate with all parts of their business. So all the socials you want to basically integrate all the GMB stuff, landing pages, reviews. And why do we integrate with everything as much as possible on the onboarding call? Why do we do that? Let me do a pop quiz here. Why in the world during the onboarding call do we try our best to integrate with everything in that business? Right? Let's see. Why do you think that is? Let me see if anybody is providing feedback here. Okay, awesome. We've got one person answering. Yeah, exactly. The reason why is one, selling the next step. Number two is you don't want to schedule a second onboarding call because you sold them Facebook ads, right? You want to be able to just launch and go live with the next offer that you have, right? So in reality, going back to this business model, right? Gateway offer, core offer, you're essentially onboarding the expansion offer during the onboarding of the core offer, right? You don't have to overcomplicate it, but what I would do is simply get access to all their social pages, all social pages that they have, as well as landing pages and websites, and then GMB. If you can just get all those things done out of the way, and you can integrate that into HighLevel, even if you don't need all of it. We know that we don't need all of it for the missed call text back, but we're foreseeing a bigger relationship later. And I don't want to have to reschedule an onboarding call, figure out their password and all these different things. So during your onboarding, before they show up, you want to give them instructions and say, hey, listen, I need you to come with all your passwords. I need you to come with all the information you have about, the platforms you are signed on to, like GMB. If you have a landing page, I need to understand where that is. I need to be able to throw in a code in there so my live chat is in there, right? So either way, getting back to sales, let's see here. Going back to sales, let's see. Right. This is the way we've already reviewed how to invite them to the demo, so I don't want to spend too much time, but I'll give you a couple of the transition questions that I would ask. Okay. So here's the simple ways to ask. If you have 30 seconds, I like to show you how the system works. Call this number real quick. And this number is your pre-built number that you're using to invite them into a 1 minute demo. After your prospect receives that messaging and automation, you want to ask them transition questions. Okay. I don't know why I said trigger questions, but I'm trying to trigger their mind into thinking how it will apply to them. But here are the transition questions that I ask. How many missed calls do you think your business has in a month? What if we customize some of these messages for direct sales or direct scheduling for you? What would you like for it to say? Right? So what's happening with these questions is that you're setting up the stage while to invite them into building out the automations, right? Because if they start building out the automations with you, guess what's happening? In your sales call, they are more than likely going to be excited to get the ball rolling to the next piece. So, like, because you're selling automations, you can easily say, what would you like the automations to say? Right? In case if somebody called you and you missed it, what do you want them to see? What do you want the message to be like? And if they start providing you feedback, you more than likely are going to be able to close the deal. Okay. And most people will feel welcome to do that when you're saying, hey, I'm a brand new software company. I just want your feedback. Right. So it flows really well for them. Okay. It doesn't feel like a sale. It feels like they're building something with you. Okay. Now, last thing I want to share with you is the numbers behind getting to one onboarded client. Okay. The goal for the challenge, again, the 5-day challenge, is one new customer. My recommendation is that you have 100 qualified conversations in order to convert one new client for this challenge. 100 qualified conversations. Now, what is considered a qualified conversation? A qualified conversation is if they're willing to at least view the demo, the 1-minute demo. Okay. If you can get the conversations that far enough, you can get them and consider them to be a qualified phone call. Right. And then from there, 30 quick demos should lead to 10 verbal yeses. You mean to tell me, Paulson, 10 people will say yes to me and only one will sign? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying have a threshold that you can measure your sales activities with, right? So if I only had 10 verbal yeses coming into Monday, I already know by the end of the week, I'm going to close one deal off of those 10. So guess what I have to do? If I want 10 new onboarded clients, I want to get to 100 verbal yeses, right? So you have to figure out a way to measure your numbers and your activities, and which is why we have a sales tracker worksheet inside of the 5-day challenge resources area, and you can go out there and you can download that and understand like the way you can figure out your activities in a way. Okay. So the last thing I want to share is the fulfillment component. The fulfillment is really easy. The main thing that you want to pay attention to is learning. This is going to sound so simple, yet the most important piece. You're going to have to learn how to say no in an onboarding call. During the onboarding call, most prospects will get excited about different things about the platform. You're going to have to say no to all those different things and bring their focus back into missed call text back, getting that implemented and moving forward, right? Because you're going to show them the core features, you're going to show them the secondary features, all these different things, could tempt you to go down the path of a customized project. You do not want to do that. You want the McDonald's assembly line style of business that's predictable and that's scalable, right? Going down the lane of customized automations is you'll never be able to scale the business because you're just simply selling time. You don't want to sell time in entrepreneurship. You always want to sell a product, not a service. Okay. So the 5-step client onboarding snapshot is inside the course, which is in day 5. If you go to day 5, go to lesson 1. The sub account creation from the snapshot is there. That's basically the snapshot, everything you need for client fulfillment. Okay, that's literally all of us in there. The basics of a kickoff call. This needs to be a Zoom call. You want to record it. And then you also want to set the agenda right. If you can set the agenda before the call happens, you're typically in an advantage. You're typically in good lane with someone that you're trying to organize, right? So you want to position yourself as the business that is going to come in and organize the structure of their business in a positive way with automations and solutions around it. The next thing you want to know is, you want to basically figure out is the ascension plan. Like, how do we take this customer from missed call text back to the core offer to the expansion offer? You want to have a plan around it. So you want to tell them, hey, right out of the gate, the first couple of days, I just want to test out the missed call text back, see how that all is going, and I want to schedule maybe a check-in call with you a week from now. Let's schedule that in. Now, as soon as that is scheduled, you want to monitor their activity, see if they're using it, see if they're logging in, figuring out what kind of messages that they're sending. Even if they don't send any messages, you want to create automations that are firing off on behalf of them so they can at least see the messages that's being represented, right? So pay attention to that, help them understand the expectations, and let them know, hey, in case if you don't have enough phone calls coming in at all, I would like to turn on Facebook ads for you. I would like to turn on Google ads for you. I would like to turn on SEO for you. I would like to turn on listings for you, right? And that's when a lot of you that have the advanced knowledge base and expertise to provide bigger services, you can now load in the expansion services. So this gives you day one, two, three, four, five, all 5 days worth of content, at least at a baseline level. Hopefully, that gives you a lot of ideas, a lot of cool new ways to go out to the market. And I want you to go through the online course, the 5 day challenge course as well. And, you know, um, and be able to leverage it to be able to go to the market, start creating revenue, and give us feedback. Go into the Facebook group, the private 5 day challenge Facebook group. Make sure you do an intro. Make sure you tell us where you're from, what kind of business you're doing. Maybe you're doing a different Trojan horse. Tell us what other Trojan horse you're deploying and see how that's working out for you, and let us know how it's working out for you. So there's about 10 minutes here. I'm gonna go ahead and do Q&A. Um, One thing that I want to address when it comes to A2P, so well, I forgot about it. I forgot to talk about A2P. A2P is basically a compliance regulatory thing that came out back in September of last year that basically forces all business owners, regardless of what software platform they use or not, it doesn't matter. Whether you use HighLevel or not, it doesn't matter. You have to register with phone carriers that you are a legitimate business, that you're not a spammer, you're not a random, business that's trying to take advantage of anything. So you have to do that registration as a small business. Now, if you are a high leveler that understands A2P, you can easily charge a setup fee and help the business owner get registered. Now, in order to get registered, you can go to one of HighLevel's webinars. We have a ton of webinars and language and instructions around it. A couple of months ago, A2P would take about up to 4 to 5 weeks. I've even seen some take 6 weeks to get approved. And this is for their phone numbers, right? So if they want to use a phone number as a local business to text as a business to a person, which is application to a person, A2P. If that's the case, they have to register with the carriers. And if they didn't register, guess what happens? Eventually, their numbers will get blocked. So then they won't be able to text a person as a business. So for you, this is US related, by the way. So if you're watching this, as a international participant or a challenger, this is irrelevant to you. But if you're in the US and going after the US market and that's where you're serving your customers, A2P is required now by law. So when you set up missed call text back, you have to get that registered first. temporarily while that's getting approved and all those different things. You can start with the 1-800 number and you can start with other Trojan horses. You can launch with reviews. You can launch with mobile apps and other things while that's happening. And from what I know, A2P doesn't take too long anymore. Within 2 to 3 days, you should get approved. If you don't get approved, it's because of the way you filled out applications. Maybe it's the category of the industry that you're serving. Some industries, no matter what, don't get approved because there's a lot of regulatory compliances there. Like for example, cannabis. Cannabis is one of those that typically won't get approved, regardless whether you did the applications properly or not. But anyways, there's a ton of content around A2P. It's an area where digital entrepreneurs are now, charging extra for the setup. It's something business owners have to do. So you coming in and, educating them on what it is and helping set all that up is like a huge relief to them because right now they don't have any other resource. They don't have, most industries don't have any information around it where high levelers have that information and you can actually capitalize on it as well in a healthy way, obviously. Okay, so let me go through Q&A. So if you type in the word Q or question and then type out your answer. That way in the comments, I know exactly who's asking questions and then what the questions are. Let me see. Again, I'm looking at the external Facebook page. Let's see. Someone's asking, how do we get the 1 to 4 of the core offer? So the core offer is being presented during the onboarding call. Hey, I know we jumped in with answering your phone call system, but I'm realizing that you have your phone number set up everywhere. Is it okay if I just simply turn this on for you to help you field all your phone calls? So you're not charging extra to go from the core offer to the gateway. I mean, the gateway offer to the core offer. Okay, you're not charging extra for any of the extra features. You're just simply turning it on. So you're just leveraging the missed call text back to land inside the castle and then expand from there, which is why we call it the Trojan horse. Okay. Someone's asking, what do you think about web design as a Trojan horse? Absolutely terrible idea. Terrible idea to lead with a service as a Trojan horse. On top of that, building a website, web design takes a long time now, right? So I don't think it's worth like it doesn't stand out on the crowd. It's something that like a local business can download a website from any one of these platforms. They can download it from the internet. You don't need to hire a web design company anymore unless you want SEO services and advanced things because of it. So I don't think web design stands out much where helping answer phone calls is a whole lot more valuable, right? You're close to the revenue line. And here's the thing: don't lead with services. If we thought services would work very well, then you might as well be an agency, right? You might as well sell Facebook ad services instead of web design because at least you're providing them potential leads right out of the gate, right? So 1000% do not lead with web design. Okay. Someone says, I do not have the course in my account. How do I get that? If you, for some reason, are not seeing the 5-day challenge course inside of your HighLevel account, go to university.gohighlevel.com. Okay, that's university.gohighlevel.com. Use a browser with incognito mode, and you should log into the university, and you should be able to see the course there. The only thing is, you have to use the same email that you registered with for the 5-day challenge. If you're not using your regular HighLevel account email, use the same email you used to sign up for the 5-day challenge, and you should see it. So incognito mode, you should be able to see the course there. And give the team a couple of days, just so you know, like it may take a full day before everybody gets let into the Facebook group as well as the course. The system automates the course part, but The Facebook group access is done manually. We're looking at the billing and making sure high levelers come in. Okay, someone's asking, when doing reputation management, do you register a new domain or a redirect? So I just did a 3-day workshop with James Bonadies around reputation management. If you look at the high level YouTube channel, there are very specific instructions on how to set that up. So take a look at that. Do you recommend when we use Google to onboard local businesses if I'm in Europe when I have limited to no warm network? So if you don't have a warm network, you obviously would have to create a warm network. Like you would have to go meet people in person in the Chamber of Commerce, BNI, local leads group, local entrepreneurial group, and start shaking hands. That's to me, that's the fastest way to go about it. If that's not something you want to do, I would say use HighLevel's built-in prospecting tool. There is a prospecting tool that's inside of HighLevel that you can log in and use. And what that does is allow you to identify businesses that don't have a GMB setup, a website setup, a live chat setup, or review setup. So these four will be indicated in the prospecting tool that shows you, hey, these businesses in the local area doesn't have it. And then on top of that, the system will shoot out a beautiful PDF report that you can use for prospecting and just send that business owner that report that says, hey, I did an audit of your business without without you requesting, but I just wanted to send this over to you. Here's a full report of what you're missing in your online presence, and here's what your competitors are doing in your local network, right? So you can send something like that out and start a phone conversation and then sell them on the Trojan horse missed call text spec pretty easily. Okay. Let's see. Let me go ahead and refresh my comments here. Okay, we're at 1 o'clock. So here's what I would recommend. Go ahead and type in Q and the questions that you have. I'll go through this rest of the afternoon and answer as much as I can. But we'll see you tomorrow at 12 o'clock EST. Tomorrow is the first day of Q&A. So rest of the week is going to be all Q&A essentially. I'll do a quick 5-minute review of each day's main theme. But well, the rest of the week is going to be all Q&A. Make sure you log in to the private Facebook group, ask questions there, and then also do an introduction. We would love to get to know you as well. But have a good rest of your afternoon, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.